This is Construction Lab Safety Part 1, where we're going to be learning about the 20 safety rules and everything that you need to do to be safe in the construction. Before entering the lab, there's several things that need to be met. First, you have to understand the following rules. Next, you must pass all safety tests with 100%. Third, you must have a hands-on demonstration on how to correctly use each tool in the lab. Fourth, you must be wearing the correct clothing and/or PPE, personal protective equipment. And finally, you must have your parent or legal guardian sign the student-parent safety contract if you have not done so already. So, starting off with safety attire in the lab, the number one rule is you must wear safety glasses and appropriate PPE, personal protective equipment, at all times. No matter if you're working on your project or not, you must be wearing your safety glasses. Number two, you must wear closed-toed shoes and/or long pants in the construction lab. So that means if you come to class with open-toed shoes or shorts or skirts, you must change into long pants and make sure that you have closed-toed shoes available. Rule number three is that you have to tie back your long hair and there's no loose clothing allowed. So if you have long sleeves, you have to roll them up, remove your lanyards, tuck in any hoodie strings and/or ties. Rule number four is there's no loose jewelry, rings, or sunglasses allowed in the construction lab. Rule number five, there's no horseplay of any kind. This includes throwing anything or running in the lab. If you are witnessed horseplaying, you will be removed and your parent will be contacted. Rule number six is you do not use defective or broken equipment. This equipment is usually identified through a tag, or if you notice it yourself that it is broken, notify the instructor so we can tag it properly. Rule number seven, wear approved hearing protection around loud equipment. Rule number eight, do not bother or distract others when they are working. So the general rule when we're in the construction lab is that you must be standing at least 3 feet away from other students when machines or hand tools are in operation. Rule number 9 is you're going to carry all your sharp tools with cutting edges with that cutting edge facing down. Rule number 10 is never wear gloves except when handling rough lumber. So we're never going to wear gloves when we're using hand tools or power tools when we're in the construction lab. Rule number 11, if you see someone violating a safety rule, first let them know about it, and if they don't change the behavior, let the teacher know immediately. Rule number 12 is place all tools in the middle of the bench. This prevents the tool from rolling off and breaking. It also prevents the tool from hanging over the bench where another student can run into that tool and hurt themselves or others. Rule number 13 is do not use any machines in the lab if your instructor is out of the lab. So if your teacher has to leave for any reason, all work will stop, except for cleanup. You can continue cleaning, but you cannot use any tools. Rule number 14 is turn off machine when setting up or making adjustments to it. So make sure that the machine is off before you make any adjustments, and we will be going over this more in detail as we get into power tool lessons. Rule number 15 is when using sharp tools, always push away from your body and keep hands and other body parts out of the path of sharp edges. This is especially true when we're using saws or when we're using X-Acto knives. Rule number 16 is never leave a machine running or unattended under any circumstance. So the first thing you need to do every time that you're done using a machine or a tool is turn it off and put it away. Rule number 17, keep aisles clear of tools and materials at all times and close vices when not in use. So on our construction lab tables, we do have vices on 4 corners. Make sure if you're not using the vise, make sure it is closed. You can see the example of that open vise on the picture to the bottom right. Rule number 18 is report all injuries, no matter how small, to your instructor. Even if it's a splinter, let your teacher know that you have it so that way we can fix it, take it out, or have you go to the nurse to get first aid. Rule number 19 is when painting or staining, we need to make sure that we're in well-ventilated areas, and rags should be kept in the metal safety container that is located inside the construction lab. Ventilated areas means that the air is open and that we're not in enclosed areas. So we need to make sure that the doors are open, that the outside door is open, so that way the fumes do not accumulate and poison us. And finally, the rule number 20 is use equipment only with the teacher's permission and check with the teacher before using machines on defective wood. So for example, if you have a piece of wood that has a crack or a warp, check with the teacher first. Also, make sure that you have permission to use that equipment. So some closing statements. You are forbidden to use or handle tools until you have been instructed how to use them properly. And then safety instructions are for your benefit, and following them is mandatory. A clean shop is a safe shop. If you have any questions, let me know. We will be testing on this. Make sure you study these rules and understand them. Have a great day, guys.